Excellencies, special invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Sometime in August last year, this network, the Yali network, invited me for their monthly face-to-face engagement. And if memory recalls, I'm getting old and my memory is slipping. So if memory recalls, theme for the August 2024 event, my memory recalls was youth importance or the significance of youth inclusion in the nation, something. And it was an extensive interaction. Engaged well over an hour. And during the course of the engagement, I offered nuggets. One of the things I urge young emerging leaders to take part, to take charge, have plan their action. And for that, I offered nuggets, encapsulated an acronym I called DAD. So discipline, accountability, delayed gratification, building capital, and taking it forward. So for that particular engagement, I addressed specific demographics, emerging leaders and the youth population. For the 2025 conference, we have a very, very important topic which is fitting for times found ourselves, not just in Nigeria, but globally. So the theme for this year's conference is transformational leadership and collaboration for socioeconomic development. And to engage on this topic, I will be addressing or focusing on two other demographics. The first demographic I'll be focusing on is enterprise and industry. And the second demographic I'll be focusing on is established people who are in position and who hold the levels of power at whatever level. If you look at Nigeria's production figures from 30,000 feet, it appears we're experiencing a productivity paradox. So if you look at the GDP figures in the last 3 years, so 2022, 2023, and 2024, Nigeria had GDP output of 477 billion USD. That's for 2022, about 383 or 363, depending on which register you look at, for 2023, and 187. This is despite huge investments in IT infrastructure, manpower development, and agriculture. Fun fact, interesting note, if you look at the figures the last 5 years before 2024, the average was somewhere between 410 and 430 billion US dollar GDP per annum. So the widest slip or slide happened between 2023 and 2024. But that is just half of the scenario. That is just one side of the story. If you look at our Human Development Index, it's sometimes I look at the figures and I lose my appetite. So within the same period, our out-of-school children grew from 10 million to over 17 million. And sadly enough, more than 60% of that figure is the girl child. So has the figures for children facing severe and acute malnutrition. If you look at gender mainstreaming, because everybody that knows me knows I'm a strong advocate for women, 2 years ago, 460 national legislators were inaugurated into the assembly. So 109 senators and 360 House of Representatives. Guess how many are women? Wait for it, 20. That is less than 5%. So regardless of how you want to skin it, whilst if you look at the national figures, we appear to be facing a productivity paradox, there are very, very important development indexes that have been slipping in geometric progression. Now, solutions. What do we do to achieve transformational leadership? For industry and enterprise, it's very, very important that you triple up social We need to go elsewhere. One of the things I like to say to people is right, upskilling, ready, put them on, them and hold them, mentor them. Collectively, embrace A, B, industrial, triple up, tariff, and impact investment, also fiscal up, and C, full in leadership position, raise the legacy, A, shape a great pattern, turn it around, put foundation back on Yali network. Well done. This is my second engagement. Keep up the good work. Thank you for inviting me here. For everybody else that came out, thank you for listening to my rant and enjoy the rest of your day.
I was built to be the best. Number one, and
Please a round of applause for him once more.
me to my
Wonderful.
destiny.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sadiq Abdullahi. We appreciate you, sir. From what he said, I took special notes of this, that you have to take part to take charge. You have to take part to take charge. Whenever you find yourself, okay, all right. So we'll be moving on to the award for Dr. Sadiq, and would like to call you up to the stage once more. And
we would like to call on to Mr. McManus to present the award to Dr. Sadiq.
Number one, and nothing
Please a round of applause for them as they mount the stage.
to my destiny. I have waited patiently. I have vision, though I believe. I know I can count on me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions. Here we go. miss it most. It's just life, that's how it is. Cause we have our strengths and weaknesses. Oh, I have vision, can't you see? I'm on the move, make way for me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions.
Okay, that was a nice one. And now we are shifting the gears to a different format. It's time for our TED Talk. Can somebody say TED Talk? I actually want to do a very simple tongue twister. Can somebody in the building here say TED Talk very fast 5 times? If you know you can do it, please raise your hands. 5 times. TED Talk very fast. Okay, we have somebody there. Please, Mr. Itibe, please help us. Okay, so nobody can do that. Let's talk 5 times very fast. You want to try? Okay, thank you very much. You tried actually. Okay, so now we are moving to the TED Talk segment, and I'll be calling on to our very own programs coordinator, Mr. Utibe, to tell us why we are having this TED Talk. Please let us welcome a round of applause.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, excellent. Please, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, most respectfully, our chief host, the U.S. Embassy, and our sponsors, Venora Oil, Salva Energy, Associates, Aliyu Trust Foundation, and every other foundation. Permit me to please pause at this point to invite for a, and of course, very importantly, Billard Development Trust. Billard Development Trust, very importantly. I know you may be asking very key questions as to why we decided to have this TED Talk, and it's the reason why I'm here. Make a very little explanation so that you would be able to take this TED Talk as something important. So we are all known for a lot of complaints. Every day we complain about one thing or the other. Today we are complaining about housing issues in the city of Abuja, most especially when the landlord just wakes up one morning and decides to increase your house rent from maybe 500,000 to 1 million without consulting anybody. And all of that gets us to complain every day. We keep complaining and we keep complaining. But there is something we miss. We have never ever, or maybe we have, but a lot of people don't really sit to think solutions. They don't really sit to develop solutions. They don't chill down and ask themselves, what can we do to solve this problem? And so what we did with the idea of that was to ensure that we put our members in a thinking corner. What I call a thinking corner. That okay, you've been complaining about housing, you've been complaining about waste management issues, and then you've been complaining of lack of youth empowerment, which is of course the third thing. And so we said, okay, enough of the nonsense. Let's to work. Assume that the president of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola appoint you. I said, okay, time to come up with solutions. What would you do? That was just the idea. So please, as you are coming up, I am going to share and so that it was randomly picked. So you see them talking about housing, don't assume that they don't have a house to pay. So randomly picked. And if you see someone talking about waste management, don't assume that the waste mega flyover. So just understand that it's random. So at this point, it's been let it tell them. I will not know that the mind want to them to be amazing and so
My name is Nifemi. I'm the project manager, Hopeness Global. Hopeness Global is basically a foundation that seeks to empower lives, young lives, social impacts, and we are focused on children, majorly education, in fact, SDG 4. And the whole purpose is to get children from, children that really want to be educated, that wants to go to school, and get them back in school and literally empower as many lives as we can through that whole process. And that's what birthed this entire project, the Back to Nest project that we embarked on today.
My name is Ife. So we are Philly Secondary School. We wrote why. But university also, we cannot go yet because there's no job. We need to meet.
Thank you very much.
So, but because I cannot follow it here, I
time and
spam.
attention.
So please, you have your community
Call
results.
on the representative of each of the teams on the
Nice
third
up.
floor. You will please on the podium.
So you're that. Science, commercial law. Science.
Representative
What do you want to
will
study?
call on the representative from the waste
Civil
management
engineer.
third.
He lives in me. He watches over everything you see into the water.
And like, say you don't go secondary school finish. Which class today? So na dey holiday. Na holiday una dey. Holiday. You no wan go school today or normally? You no wan go school again?
Allow me take you on a journey. Case study for this is the Carol community. And I know a lot of us can attest to the fact that waste is a menace in this city. Yes, you might not see it in areas like the CBD. You might not see it in the open areas, but we know from our homes, we see dump sites just by the corner. So today I'm laying emphasis on the dump sites at Carol community. Today, I don't just want to tell you about the problems all over again. I want you to go home with the solution. Now, I'm going to talk about 4 solutions. Number 1, the market-led approach. Number 2, the school-based approach. Number 3, the community-led initiative. And lastly, government initiative as well. These are the solutions I want you to live with. We have talked about problems long enough. Now, if we talk about the impact of waste in our society, when I first moved to Abuja, I was stunned by the fact that cows were feeding from a dump site. That was something that caught my mind. I had to take out my phone and snap it because it's something I had never seen before. If these cattle are feeding from a dump site, now most of us will say the impact is not that much, we can't really feel it. But then, on the long run, there's something we call bioaccumulation in our organs. Now, these cattle, they feed on the dump. There are organic substances there that they can eat. But alongside, they will feed on the inorganic substances as well. Okay, now we've talked about the problem. We can also see problems of accidents happening in those areas because the dump sites are just along the road. So if there is hold up, number 1, you will be visited with a very bad smell all through your time at the hold up. Also, it has been reported that there have been series of accidents in that area as a result of the dump sites. How many of us can attest to what I'm talking about? If you can, please raise your hand. So this is a serious issue in our city. And these solutions will help us, create better pathways for them. Number 1, the market-led approach. How can we leverage on our markets to provide solutions? All right, the slides are up. So please, you can go forward. You can see the total tons that Abuja generates annually. And per capita, we have 0.59 to 0.79 kg per day. And these are the problems. Please, next slide. This is what I talked about. This was what I saw when I first came to Abuja. And you can see the cows or the cattle feeding on the dump site. Next slide. Now, we've talked about the impact. I don't want to dwell much on the problem, like I said. But these are the impacts. It has environmental and health impacts. These are all they can be. Yes, we can talk about the rate at which people visit chemists, people visit the hospital, people visit pharmacy. If you take account of that, you will notice that a lot of people do it much more time in a year than you can count. Next slide, please. Now, these are the root causes. Population is growing. Population is the very first root cause of issues like this. And the next is poor infrastructure and being. You can see the rest here. Like I said, I don't want to dwell on the problem. The solution is much more important. Next slide. Now, this is our integrated solution. And number one, market-led initiatives, school-based education, community-driven ownership, government-enabled technology. Next slide. Now, this is the market-led solution, the Waste for Education program. Next slide, please. We'll come back. Now, this is something I saw, and this is a big waste collector in a market. And if you read the write-up here, is that it says plastic for pad project. Your recyclables will be recycled at a partnering facility. In exchange for the recyclables, we provide menstruation hygiene kits to girls and young women in your community. Everybody loves to be a part of something bigger than themselves. So if you teach the market women and say, oh, your little contribution would help us pad a girl child in a nearby community, everybody will want to commit to it. And that's where social and behavior change comes in. Because it's very difficult to sensitize the mind of people towards changes like this. But with such an initiative, you have started social and behavior change. You have begun to sensitize their mind that, oh, to contribute to something like this, I am helping somebody elsewhere. All right, let's go back to the other side quickly. And you see resource recovery, youth managed market recycling hubs, trader incentives. Next slide. Next one. Now, school-based solutions. We can't leave our young ones out of this. Whilst we are trying to correct the adults, the young ones must be captured from the beginning. We need to have environmental leadership clubs, waste for books drive, recycling crafts, and cleanup routines. Classroom waste literacy. It has to be a part of the things that will teach our young ones. Next slide, please. Now, this is just an example of how it looks. Organizations can partner with schools to see that such initiatives get to the students. Next slide, please. Community-driven solution, we'll talk about the 3 bin segregation system. Talk about adopt a street cleanup, where people in the streets come together and say, okay, let's make our streets clean. So all of these models that we've proposed is under the shared responsibility. If we have cybersecurity experts in the house, we all know what I'm talking about, shared responsibility. It means I don't do it alone, we do it together. You have your part to play, and I also play my part. Next slide, please. Now, government-supported solution. For all the industries, all the countries that are doing well when it comes to waste management, you see 2 things are key. Number 1, policies. Number 2, education. So government has a role to play. Now, the reverse vending machines. Next slide so they can see it. This is the reverse vending machine by EcoBarter. This was assembled here in Nigeria, made by a Nigerian. And here you just go put in your waste and you get cash for your waste. So these are initiatives that the government can put together. Another thing the government can also, we are proposing the government to do is the idea of billboards. Billboards and leveraging on artificial intelligence for social and behavior change in terms of people. If I'm coming to town and I see a billboard that says, keep your streets clean, it may not take immediate effect, but over the long run, it becomes significant. Next slide, please. This is the combined impact, cleaner environment, improved health. Next slide, please. Now, this solutions has citywide applicability. What works in Karo, it has the potential to work in other areas. Last slide, please. And in conclusion, waste is not trash, waste is value. A cleaner, healthier, and circular Abuja is possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that wonderful speech. Okay, next on our TED Talk, we have the representative from the Youth Empowerment. Please let us put our hands together as they walk up the stage. Please let us put our hands together for her.
Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up for the champions.
Sustainability also economic, as we know, justified in terms of next time. So, what are some of the strategies in achieving this? Firstly, we have education. There is no youth that's going to be empowered if they are not firstly educated. We are all seated here. I know we have gained one level of education, otherwise we will not be able to communicate fluently. So we need that education, and of course we need training. And skills needed for better jobs or to start business. So apart from the basic education or training we need, we also need advanced training in terms of starting up a job or a business. Most of us young people here today, we've been able to fend for ourselves because we had the idea of starting up a business, because we can't keep waiting for the government. We have so many youths today who are unemployed and they're waiting for the government. What differentiates a youth who is working today and earning, probably with ease or a business, is the fact that they've been able to come up with an idea to be able to meet and provide solutions to a particular problem. And we have entrepreneurship support. So we need to promote entrepreneurship through support programs from civil society organizations and non-governmental organizations, that's NGOs, also from finance and corporate enterprise, to create more jobs and income opportunities. Okay, so this is where the civil society organizations comes in. Many youth today are employed not with the government, but because of some other organizations who've taken it upon themselves to provide jobs for our youth, which is very, very important. And we have financial inclusion. Ensure access to financial services such as savings accounts, credit, and insurance to help individuals manage finances, invest, and cope with with emergencies or other personal family duties. It is not enough that you earn. Even allocation and adequate management of financial resources is also very important. So I want us to take this point very seriously. It's not enough that you are earning. It's not enough that you earn a salary. It's not enough that you're doing a business. How are you managing that finance as a youth? The problem of many youths today is not that we are not making money, it's that we are not spending our money judiciously. Some people buy things that they don't need to impress people that don't care about them. So please, if you're taking anything away from this TED Talk this afternoon, is that you don't need to spend are in excess, you need to cultivate the habit of saving as a young person. Okay, so we need to save because of emergencies, because of family responsibilities, and other, reasons. Next slide, please. Thank you. Okay, inclusive and equitable policies. This is where the government comes in, create policies that promote social inclusion, gender equality, and social justice, ensuring that economic growth benefits all members of society and the nation at large. So whatever policies the government are going to be coming up with, it should be to the benefit of we, the youth and young people. It is very, very important. If there is no safe place for us to run our business, if there's no safe place for us to work, we are not going to be able to, thrive as a nation and as a people. And also community-based approaches. Develop initiatives that are culturally sensitive and have local buy-in made in Nigeria products, recognizing the agency and brands of individuals within the community or nation. This point is also very, very important. As a nation, we need to learn how to, patronize our own. Let's start patronizing our own. Let's start buying made in Nigeria products. I know many people will be like, oh, made in Nigeria can be substantial, it might not be quality, but if we don't learn to patronize our own, we are not going to empower the youth. So please, let's learn to buy made in Nigeria products. We have companies in Nigeria today that are producing vehicles. We have companies producing plastics. We have companies producing, fabrics. Our Ankara fabrics is very, very important. Let's learn to patronize our own because that's the only way we can empower our youth, and that's the only way our nations can thrive. Are we following? Is someone talking? I want to make sure I'm not talking to just myself. Thank you. And lastly, in this point, we have mentorship. Okay, so people who are experts of specific fields should take up the challenge to train young people who are interested and willing to learn. So if you're an expert in a particular field or a professional, it's necessities laid upon you to be able to train, the coming generation, the younger ones, so that they can also, take up the baton after you have passed. Thank you. Next slide, please. Okay, why does this matter? So I'll just briefly list them. Individual and community growth is very important for any company or organization or nation to thrive. You have to empower the people in that community, in that society. And then long-term resilience. They'll be able to withstand whatever challenge is coming to the nation or to the community. Then achieving broader goals. You'll be able to achieve broader things, achieve better objectives as a people and as a nation. And finally, national development. No nation can thrive beyond the capacity of its people. So the earlier the government starts empowering us, the earlier we ourselves as young people start developing ourselves, the better for us and our nation. Thank you. Let's look at the conclusion. Okay, conclusion and summary. This is where the call to action comes in. This is a call to action for you as a young person, for myself as a young person, and for the nation at large. You have to, begin to prepare, hone your skills, become better at whatever you are doing, take up necessary tools and courses to become better, and also for the policymakers, this is where they come in to support, the youth and the young people. When everyone plays their part, we can create a fairer and greener future for ourselves and generation after us. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you for that wonderful presentation. Please, a round of applause for her once more. Awesome. Okay, before we call up the representative for housing and urban shelter, we'd like to. All right. So at this junction, please let us welcome the representative from housing and urban shelters for their TED Talk. Please, a round of applause for her. Yes. Let's make it louder. Let's make it louder. Thank you very much. Wonderful.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a very shy person, so don't expect too much. My name is Marshall, and I'm representing Group H. Our TED Talk is on. We are talking about fixing Abuja's rental crisis. I don't know how many persons here have actually experienced bad landlords. If you've experienced bad landlords, please let me see your hand. That's very swift rental increments that they used to do. Very good. If you've not experienced bad landlords, let me see your hands. We celebrate you. Your landlord is a very good person. Thank you so much. So, next slide, please. So, Abuja is a big city where youth is fast growing, and thousands of youths come in every year because they want to grow their career. And then when we get to this place, because of the increments in rent, we are unable to pursue our profession because we have to be focused on gathering money for us to be able to gather rent. And this is not just an issue, but a human one. I'll give you, for instance, some of the problems that we discovered for the rental problems in Abuja. Please, next slide. Okay. Work spend 40 to 60% of income on rent. Okay, part of the problems we discovered, number one is rent above income levels. Workers spend 40 to 16% of income on rent. Example, 150,000 salary to 1.2 million annual rent in Abuja. For instance, I have a friend that came to Abuja 2 years ago, and we celebrated his 2-bedroom apartment. He was paying 2 million naira, I think in Gadua, 2 million naira. And he paid upfront. So he paid for 2 years. And then at the beginning of the second year, the landlord brought an increment over 200%. He was to start paying 6.5 million naira. So that's what happens to young professionals that comes into town to start chasing their dreams. Landlord sees it as an opportunity for them to also enrich themselves. So if we look at, if we compare it to other cities, global cities, we look at Nairobi, which solves similar issues. Nairobi fixed rent income balances by building affordable homes tied to what citizens actually earn, which doesn't happen here in Abuja. Nairobi is also a big city. It's a capital city as well. So if that can also be put into consideration, please, next slide. Now, another problem we discovered is the annual upfront rent. Just like I said, that my friend was made to pay 2 years upfront rent. And then tenants are forced to pay 1 to 2 years upfront. Young workers and COP members suffer most. There are African cities. Let's compare it to some other African cities like Accra, Ghana. Ghana encourages monthly payments, quarterly payments of rent so that these young people are not put under pressure. Unlike Nigeria, that if you give your landlord rent monthly, you say, you want to devalue my money? What am I supposed to do with these pieces? So it's not like that in Nigeria. Please, next slide. Our third problem we discovered was the housing supply gap. Abuja grows by hundreds and thousands plus yearly, and affordable units are limited. Estates, developers, they build housing like Lobugoma, Dawaki, Gwarimpa, and their target is always on the upper middle class. And the low income earners are left to their own fate. If you look at countries like Kigali, where housing units are done, the government builds thousands of houses at low income rate, affordable houses for low income people, that even the upper and the low income people can be able to afford good houses, unlike here in Nigeria. And then next slide, please. The fourth problem we're able to discover is there is no rent regulation. Rent increases are unpredictable and they are excessive. Example, I talked about my friend that rented an apartment 2 years ago for 2 million, and in less than 2 years, the apartment was increased to 6.5 million. He had to move. In fact, he left the house last week. It didn't just happen like that. They protested, not like they did. They protested. They even contested the whole increments. The landlord said, if you're not staying any longer, if you can't pay the money, leave my house. And there's nothing they could do about it. So, next slide, please. Okay, problem 5, high land and material cost. Expensive allocation, rising cement prices, developers pass costs to tenants. landlords, they complain that the building materials are quite expensive and even the lands are really expensive. So when they buy these materials to innovate their houses or build their houses, they give the cost of the house to tenants to pay. There are places like Ethiopia where housing building costs are being cut down so that building materials are cut down so that the housing can be affordable for low income people. So just give me 1 minute. Let me talk about some solutions. Okay. So please next slide. So we're able to pick out some solutions like we looked at Ghana. Ghana, they introduced the monthly income payment, monthly payment of rent or quarterly payment of rents. And it's a shift from annual to monthly or quarterly payments like in Kenya and South Africa where enforce monthly structures. And then if we introduce that, I'm sure the weight will be a little bit less for us youths focusing on our career. Next slide, please. And then we also looked at affordable housing, which is PPP, like private public partnership, where government gets to partner with private organizations to build affordable houses for both low income and then upper class people. Next slide, please. Then we talk about rent to own scheme. In places like Malaysia and Dubai, you pay rent and eventually, over time, the house become yours. If that can also be introduced in Abuja, it will be a good. I'm hearing. So that one is good now. So if we can introduce that in Abuja, I'm sure that young people can really look forward to owning their own houses within a period of time. Then the fourth solution, we talked about regulating rent increase. For instance, just the way landlords, they allow you to enter their house and then in less than a year or two, they increase the rent because they know that there is no one to actually hold them responsible for that. Please, let's go to the last one. Reducing building costs, just like it's done in Ethiopia. If the building materials are reduced, the cost of building materials are reduced, it will also affect the prices of rent. We have one last one, please. Okay, urban expansion and transport. Having affordable housing grows when transport expands. When there is access to those low income areas, houses becomes lower and then people can afford what they have around them. Please, a call to action. This crisis affects dreams, innovation, dignity, advocate for monthly rent laws, supports affordable housing and push for rent transparency and regulation.
My name is Nifemi. I'm the project manager, Hopeness Global. Hopeness Global is basically a foundation that seeks to empower lives, young lives, social impacts, and we are focused on children, majorly education, in fact, SDG 4. And the whole purpose is to get children from, children that really want to be educated, that wants to go to school, and get them
very
back in
quickly
school,
would like
and
to
literally empower as many lives as we can
recognize
through
the
that whole
presence
process.
of
And that's what's birthed this entire project,
the machine learning expert and
that we embarked on
founder,
today.
Afro Tech Excel, in the person of Emerald Akalmere. Please, a round of applause for her. We would also like to recognize the co-founder, WirePay, and machine learning engineer, Ogechi Eze Dozier. Please, a round of applause for her as well. Next, we would like to recognize the presence of the solutions architect and cloud engineer and IT manager in the person of Abimbola Ogunmola. Please, a round of applause for him. And then lastly, we want to recognize the presence of the data scientist, National Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics in the person of Abdul Wahid Adebayo Abdusalam. Please, a round of applause for him. These are the panelists that will be talking to us on AI, automation, and human collaboration. Thank you very much for joining us for this program.
To be the best, number one and nothing less. Lead me to my destiny.
Thank you very much. Before we commence with the panel session, we have one more major keynote speaker, and she is the managing director of the ATF Foundation, a mother of 4, and a managing director, yes, of Aliu Trust Foundation, She is passionate about empowering individuals and communities through education and philanthropy. With a strong background in Montessori education, she has also trained both in the Association Montessori International (AMI) and Montessori Mondial Institute (MMI), and she is committed to fostering innovative and inclusion learning environments. Through her works at the Aliyu Trust Foundation, she strives to make a positive impact on the lives of others, supporting initiatives to promote education, health, and well-being. Our philanthropic efforts are driven by a desire to create lasting change and also to improve the human experience. As a leader, she is guided by a sense of purpose and a commitment to excellence. She is excited to collaborate with like-minded individuals and also organizations to drive meaningful change and create a bigger future for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, if your hands are not too busy, please put them together and make some noise as we welcome. Thank you. As we welcome Aisha Fidausi Aliyu for her speech. Please, a round of applause until she gets to the stage. Thank you very much.
Patiently, I have vision, though I believe. I know I can count on me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, young leaders, honored guests, and fellow visionaries. My name is Aisha Fidosi Aliyu. I am the managing director of the Aliyu Trust Foundation. I have found myself in a position of leadership as any one of you can. And today I will be speaking about transformative leadership and collaboration for socioeconomic development. But you see, I am an unlikely MD. Much of what I do now is not what I had envisioned for myself. I'm a stay-at-home mother of 4. I had imagined my days spent backing my children and just making okra soup. Today I want to speak to other thought to be unlikely leaders here in the audience. I have found myself instead to be part of an organization. We are currently quietly but effectively leading change in a dynamic institution that has become the instrument for socio-economic development on so many platforms. The Aliyu Trust Foundation is across education, youth empowerment, skills acquisition, poverty elevation, providing access to clean water, competitions among school children in creative arts, science, and innovation. So I have found myself here, not where I had envisioned that I would be. And many of you sitting in this room will find yourself in spaces you did not imagine that you will be. And so therefore be prepared for the position of leadership that you will one day be in. And that is within any capacity. As a driver, as a cleaner, as a banker, as a teacher, wherever the road will lead you. Eventually as a managing director, manager, wherever you find yourself. Now with years of experience, I'm standing before an audience such as this to speak about what I do, and it is such a privilege to be here. Well done to Ms. Irene, you are doing phenomenal work here. Yali in itself is an instrument of impactful change, and we're seeing that now. I was raised to do my best. I should have been a doctor. I had started medical school by the age of 17 even. And then I should have been an economist. Then I settled in early childhood education because I'm convinced that it begins from the very beginning. We are creating leaders from the very beginning. We are teaching empathy and kindness from the start in the 2-year-olds and the 4-year-olds and the 5-year-olds, who then become you, the young adults, who then become us in the positions that we are now, and it begins from the very beginning. So I was raised to only ever do my best by my father, who was in himself a visionary leader, who is the chairman of the Aliyu Trust Foundation. And I'll talk more about that, about vision, about how it all begins with a vision. Should I have ended up as a plumber, I would be the blessed plumber within my space. So where I am now, I can only ever do my best, and you can only ever do your best where you find yourself, and that is where leadership begins. Every great leader, any one single individual who has had an impact on the world, had a vision. Regardless of how seemingly small that vision began, it is what eventually became fruitful, starting with a vision and eventually a set of goals. Spoke about Malala, and it began with a vision. She wants to go to school. She wants more out of life from what she can see. And then here she is now. And any vision is with a leader who believes that true change starts when we dare to imagine a better tomorrow. Where we are now in this space, in this time, may feel stark in terms of statistics and numbers see on the boards. Those who will emerge after these challenging times in Nigeria will be those who dare to see ahead of this place that we are now. It will be for those who can see that there will be better to come, and that this time and this space will pass. It will be for those who can see ahead of this current state of affairs, and those who take the steps to create what they are hoping for. The vision, the empathy. What we knew in the past to be leadership no longer applies. Leadership isn't about titles and corner offices anymore. People want more. They need to respect who is leading them. There is more to it now. They talk about the Gen Zs all the time. You don't take instructions just like that. The person has to make sense if they're giving you an order. So see, more is being demanded from leaders. Empathy, to listen, to understand, not just to reply and to give orders. Compassion in any space that you find yourself towards anyone who you are called to lead. Courage, the courage to take bold steps even when the path is uncertain. It is to go forward in spite of the fear and the uncertainty ahead of you. You cannot have it if you do not try. To have failed trying has to be better than never trying at all and wondering always what would have been if only you had tried. All the men, all the big names that you saw on the screen, before they became what they were, there were many other things that they failed at before they got to that winning streak. So you just have to try. Collaboration, pulling together diverse voices to multiply impact. This is important for us in Nigeria. When you go on social media now, the comment sections are devastating. To see such hatred between a people who look the same, who love the same God is very sad. Collaboration must exist between us, whether we like it or not even. Those of the same tribe cannot stick together. Those of the same faith cannot pull together alone. It is a gross underuse of
Mary, did you know that your baby boy
unfair bias
one day walk on water?
Dynamic progress
Mary,
we
did
could
you
have
know
if we otherwise could choose the work above our personal sentiments
save our
and
sons
personal
and
bias against each other.
daughters? Did
You're
you
hurting yourselves, you hurt the
know
work, you
that
hurt the
your
progress
baby
that we can make
boy
as a people.
wonder
We deserve more than the
making
hate that we give to ourselves.
you this child that you
leadership.
delivered
You will
was
lead people who are of a different faith
deliver
and different tribe to yourself.
you. Mary, did you
For
know
yourself and
that
them
your
justice to be
baby
fair to them where you
boy
lead. To
got
put your bias
a
aside,
blind
to put the work
man?
before
Mary,
you.
did you know that your baby boy calmed the storm with his hands? Did
evaluation
you
that no single
know that
individual,
you
organization,
baby
or sector
boy,
can
I
solve our
swear
complex social and
we're
environmental
just
challenges.
strong. With the
Cross-sector
kiss and
partnerships between the
little
government, private
baby.
NGO,
You
and
kiss
industry
the
are coming together
face
to bring
of
the sea further away.
God, Mary, Mary, Mary. Did
HIFEST.
you know?
HIFEST is part of the programs that the Aliyu Trust Foundation sponsors yearly. We've been doing this for nearly 10 years now. Provide funding. The government in United States
The blind will see, the deaf will hear, and will live again. The dead will see, the dead will see, the praises of the
they create remarkable things. We started
Lord.
small, we were funding it, now we're putting more money into it, we have more stakeholders, but it began with just the vision to want more for the children.
Mary, did you know
For them to showcase what
baby
they are capable
boy
of. And then
is the
once we
Lord
started,
of
then we brought in
all
other
creation?
the government
Mary,
saw us
did
and they
you
saw the remarkable
know
work we were
that
doing.
your baby
Collaborative
boy
Creative
will
Arts Foundation,
one
which
day
is a local
rule the nations? Did you
for
know
retail
that your baby boy is
schools.
heaven's perfect light?
Private schools are involved.
When you feel the child you hold him,
What began as
is the great I am.
Even through to Ghana.
He's the great I am.
You as a youth, your fresh ideas paired with our experience and the experience
He's
of those who have
the
worked before
great I am.
Collaboration of both perspectives is a driving force
Mary,
we cannot overlook to achieve
did you
socioeconomic development. Your ideas are fresh. You see the world differently from what we see. You are a different age. The world is different. I'm only 35 and still my world is different from the one who is 25. It's moving quickly, so you need to be carried along. You deserve a space. Take up space. Even when you see the big names, take up space. Don't shy away because your ideas are valuable, just as the one standing here with the microphone. Above all, we are in the age of technology, which means that you are now more visible than ever. I get to stand here in a room with maybe 200 people, but through your platforms, you're reaching thousands of people. For as long as you have an idea, you have a dream, you think it could work, maybe, then get it out there. Be brave. It goes back to courage. The path is uncertain, but you have a duty to yourself to take it out there, to be seen, to wonder where it could go. Use what you have available to you. If you're a hairdresser plaiting hair, plait the hair, snap the picture, put it on your WhatsApp, put it everywhere. Let somebody see. But you have to put yourself out there. I'll give one more example and then I'll move quickly. I think I'm taking up quite a bit of time. There is a school in Niger State in Mina. It was built by Malam Ibrahim Aliyu, the chairman of Urban Shelter and the chairman of the Aliyu Trust Foundation. There was a space. So this is collaboration. We went to another Alhaji who has a space and we said, give us the land. He gave us the land. Malam Ibrahim Aliyu has a building company. He builds the school. There's a local Malam there who was teaching maybe 150 students, 300 in a cramped space. We educated the man, employed the teachers, created this massive building that will now take up 700 underprivileged children with school fees that their parents can afford. They're wearing uniforms, they have projectors in their class. It's wonderful. It's reaching out and bringing together everyone you can. Above all, it has given a sense of community to that community, and you see how everyone wants to take care of the school. There is a cleaner, she's part of the community. She sweeps that whole compound and has said no one should help her. She sweeps, she cleans, her children are in the school. And then another one said too, let me clean the school. Then my children, because her children are in the school, I'm cleaning for them, I'm cleaning for all the other children. This is how you create impact. When you put the people in the community to have a sense of ownership of what is in their community, then you will see people protect it as though they are protecting theirs, and they are. My closing thoughts are that leadership is not just a position, it is a practice. As a mother of four, I have four distinct personalities, four futures that I'm desperate to see what they will do in the world. And I'm hoping that there is more than the stark statistics that we see now. There is a space for every single one of you in whatever it is that you choose. I come from one of those families with everyone, where everyone has a very fancy degree. University of New York Architecture, University of Oxford Computer Science and Engineering, University, University of London, Cardiff University Law, but I chose to be a Montessori educator. I didn't want that, so it was difficult. But they had to make room for me because that's what I wanted. It was not easy, I won't make it rosy, but it is what I wanted. To say I wanted to be a teacher in the midst of all those big titles was nearly ridiculous, but I did stick to it. I went on to have a bunch of babies, homeschool, and become a Montessori educator. But you will be put where you need to be. I also stand on platforms like this and I speak to large audiences, and most of the time, even when I feel I don't belong, I do belong. And so do you. So I challenge all of you, leave this room with one concrete step that you will take, whether it is starting a study group, reaching out to a local NGO, listening to a neighbor's story, and then drawing inspiration. That step will set off a ripple effect that can become a wave of change. Thank you today for your energy. Thank you for your dreams. Thank you for wanting more, for wondering what more is beyond just what you can hear and see just now. Daring to want more means that we will in fact succeed, because the one who seeks will find. The one who struggles and strives will ultimately succeed. It is a law of life, and the one who strives will succeed. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Please, a round of applause for Aliyu Trust Foundation, Aisha Fidausi Aliyu. The path is uncertain, but it is up to you to take that path and to see where it leads. All right, so let's call on the DJ to give us some soft music. DJ, if you please.
On my way to see my friends, you left a couple blocks away from me. And through the subway, must have been about 3:15. In front of me stood a beautiful honey with a beautiful body. She asked me for the top, I said it costs a new $60, and I think we need some more at night. Like, no, didn't she mind? I don't think so. Was it for real? Damn sure. What was the deal? I thought we got it. So was she cute? She really couldn't wait. Seen her and quit. Let me up there. What did she say? She said she'd like to.
All right. Thank you, DJ. Wonderful. So at this point, we would like to call on the representative of Rescue Tap for their presentation, represented by Sheena. Please step forward for your presentation. Please, a round of applause for Rescue Tap as we have their representative come on stage. DJ, could you give them something to walk to the stage with? All right, he's even here. Please, a round of applause for him once more.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's my great pleasure to be here and to represent Rescue Tap in this amazing program. Please, let's put our hands together for the conveyors of this program. As we begin, I just want to ask a quick question. What is the most beautiful text you can receive right now in this room? Anyone? The most beautiful text you can receive right now in this room? A lot. What bank do you use? But most people will say a lot. But deep down, right now in the current Nigeria, the most beautiful text that you can receive is a message from a loved one that has been on a job. Just 3 words: I have arrived. The Nigeria that we're living in is an amazing city right now. It's filled with insecurity, where daily commuters, whether you are a student and a boss, you are a parent waiting for a child, or you are a professional working late, the fear is mutual. And this isn't just paranoia. This is the reality that we are seeing now. Oh, sorry, can I have the slides up, please? So while you're working on that, I'll move on. So you don't mind if I move? So in April 2023 to May 2024, there were about 23,659 missing person cases. That's 23,000 families that were waiting for a knock on their door that never came. And we also have in that same span 1.4 million sexual offenses being reported in that same span. You see, to us as Rescue Tab, these are not just statistics. That's a friend at the office, that's a colleague, that's a brother, that's a sister. And that's why we built Rescue Tab. You see, we lost a colleague to cases of what we call one chance situation, where they could have been saved if only they were able to contact somebody fast enough. So they died not necessarily because of it was a bad situation. It was. But they died because they couldn't contact someone fast enough. Well, here in Rescue Tab, we created a solution to that. Amen. So we created a smart digitized platform that works on 3 unique symbols: smart, simplicity, and trust. Whereas with just one tap, all right, please just move me. Move in. Yes. Whereas with just a tap of the button, you can send an instant SOS to a loved one. You can send your live location to a family friend. You can record what is happening around you as evidence, or when you're feeling distress. You can also, one of our features is that you can scan the vehicle that you're entering for a pre-verification of the passengers, for a pre-verification of the drivers that you're going with, where you enter into a cab and you scan the identity, and the identity tells you John. But John on your phone is showing fair. But the John that's speaking to you is black. You know you're in the wrong vehicle. So let's move on. So we're not just building a prototype, we're not just building an app, we're building a movement where your smartphone can become your lifeline. Where we just tap, you have reduced gap between safety and life. Right, next slide. The use cases of Rescue Tab goes more than just a teacher, a student, estates, residents. As far as you have a smartphone, you can have Rescue Tab. As far as you have a smartphone, you have an instant lifeline that can help you. You see, we also created what we call an access control app that is being used in the universities and estates. We have onboarded different universities and estates. We have the African University of Science and Technology and Hotel by the Jankad, which are currently using our services for their guests and for their students in this unruly Nigeria that we're having. You see, the business model is something very simple. It was created to make sure that at least any Nigerian that have a smartphone should be able to afford it, which is 500 naira. With 500 naira, you can buy egg roll. With 500 naira, you can get a bottle of mineral and some bread. With 500 naira, you can call that sister from away. But with 500 naira, you can create a lifeline for yourself. You see, we are not just about money. We're not trying to make money. We're not after revenue. But we're trying to create a safe economy. We're trying to save lives. Because we know just how much it hurts where you are in a situation and you just wish if you could have called somebody, you could have sent a text message. We have reduced the action called panic to one tap. And when one tap, you can send help your way. Thank you very much.
Okay, that was an amazing presentation from Rescue Tab. So on to the next item on our agenda. We have to move forward to our representative from Circuit Global, Claire Ashara. Please let us give her a round of applause as she comes up to the stage. A round of applause, please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Claire, and I'm a representative of Circuit Global Solutions. Pull up my slide, please. Okay, while we're waiting for that, I'm actually here to just give you guys a brief gist about circuits and what we do. So Circuits is the biggest virtual cinema in Africa, and we are an online cinema where you get to watch African content globally. Basically, the way you go to a traditional movie theater, cinema to go see a movie, we brought that model online, and that's what we do. We take African content and distribute them globally. And we are a Nigerian owned company, and we officially launched in December of last year, and we are going to be turning one soon on December 2025 this year. And ever since then, since our launch, we have spread to over 184 countries. In every country in the world, you will see someone seeing a movie on circuit. And we also have multiple initiatives, such as our Launchpad initiative program, where we have interns from all over Nigeria. And ever since the initiative launched in March, we've been able to have over 1,000 youths in our pipeline. And out of that 1,000 youths, about 300 of them are now earning monthly through marketing, through our marketing outreaches. So, what exactly do? We export Nigerian content, African-based content globally, and we've expanded to Uganda, we've expanded to Zambia, and we've expanded to Kenya, with other African countries on the way. The next slide, please. And since you are here, we have a little gift for you. When you sign up free on Circuit using the barcode here, the QR code here, you can use the code you are seeing on the screen to get to watch free movies on our platform. Use the first code, Yali Abuja, to get free access to our Flexi Watch categories for 7 days, and the Yali Off for a 10% discount off our premium movies. And please note, you can only use the code on our website, so you can just scan the QR code you are seeing here and access the code. Next, please. All right. To wrap up, just visit our website www.secu.tv and explore our libraries. Follow us on social media because this December we are going to be streaming the AFCON for free for our Nigerian audiences. And more movies are also coming up on the way. Download our app on Google Play, App Store, and Smart TV, and enjoy premium African entertainment anywhere you are in the world. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. Please, a round of applause for her once more. Okay, so we're switching up. Thank you, DJ. We're switching up to another format right now. And it is time, let us welcome our very own Blessing ERA to call up our panelists for our panel session. Please put your hands together for her.
I was built to be the best, number one and nothing less. Lead me to my destiny. I have waited patiently. I have vision.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Okay, it's like we're cold. So I'll just introduce myself, and I have like something little I want us to do to shake up the cold. My name is Blessing Iyare, and it's my pleasure to be the host for this beautiful panel session on the topic The Future of Work, AI, Automation, and Human Collaboration. So here's a task I have for each and every one of you. Turn to your neighbor, especially for those of you who've not been able to interact with your neighbor. So look for a neighbor and ask, has AI already started? Has AI already, sorry, I'll take that again. Is AI already influencing your daily work? So ask your neighbor, is AI already influencing your daily work? Then go to another neighbor. Keep the answer. Go to another neighbor. Look for another neighbor. Is AI already influencing your work? So I will answer right now. So we're in the. Hello, everyone. So yes, I want a chorus answer. So let's see. If it's yeah, I will want the yeah, and if it's nay, you say. So is AI already influencing your daily work? Okay, I think I can hear yeah. So we're going to be inviting our panelists off stage, and then we're going to be seeing and discussing how has AI influenced our work and what's the way forward. So without further ado, please join me to invite Emirad Akumere, who is a machine learning expert, founder of Afrotech Excel. Please, a round of applause for her. Thank you. Okay. Next on my list, in no particular order, I have Ogechi Ezedozie, the co-founder, WirePay, and also a machine learning engineer. Please, a round of applause for her. Okay, thank you so much. Next on my list is Abibola Ogumola. He is a solutions architect, a cloud engineer, and an IT manager. Please, a round of applause for him as he steps forward. And finally, to join us on stage, I have Abdul Wahid Adebayo Abdul Salam. He's a data scientist at the National Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics. Please, a round of applause for him. Thank you so much. Okay, so without further ado, we will just dive right in. So looking at everyone here with So without further ado, we'll dive right in. So looking at everyone here, we've seen this. They have several years of experience with AI, machine learning, and all. So we'll start with Mr. Abdul Wahid, right? When you talk about AI, first of all, I'd like you to introduce yourself and then also give us the various ways you adopt AI.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's not Adibayo, it's Adidayo.
Thank you so much.
So I started my AI journey back in 2023, where I was opportune to work remotely as a data scientist at the United Arab Emirates. So there, I was able to build an AI system that allowed the stakeholders to communicate seamlessly with their database. Then back in 2024, when I did my service as a corp member in the Nigerian Communication Commission, I also built an AI system that allowed for them to communicate seamlessly with their regulations and policy. Right now, I am a data scientist at the National Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics, where I use AI in various sectors, from agriculture to electricity to even education. Outside of my work, I love to build, and I say with all intent, I love to build solutions that solve real world problems. I built a smart energy control system that was able to reduce electricity in households. And currently, I'm building a sports tech platform that connects everyone to community sports activities. The way I've been able to adopt AI in my work is quite simple because complicating things is really difficult. So simple is actually easy. So what I do is the manual, repetitive, and tedious tasks that I have, I give to AI. As I said, I love to build, I develop, I code a lot. So instead of reading pages of documentations, trying to write syntaxes by myself, I leave that to the AI, which allows me to focus on the bigger picture of getting the workflow to work efficiently. So that is how I'm able to adopt AI in my everyday work. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing. I was just hearing I built. I'm very sure those persons who are not in the tech world wondering if we don't build, can we also use this AI? So yes, over to you, Ogechi. I'd like you to tell us, first of all, introduce yourself and then tell us the various ways you've been able to adopt AI in your work. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Oge, and I'm an AI engineer. I'm also a co-founder for WirePay. So I started my AI journey in university. So I got interested in AI specifically because I saw the way we're able to build when with volunteer groups like Rotract. Because anybody a member of Rotract here? Hi. So we went into communities trying to build for people in those communities, like setting up IoTs and connecting them using AI and making sure that the communities were able to handle their crops, were able to detect their crops in the most simplest form. So even using their phones, those phones that don't have internet, that was one of the things that we did to try and put farmers together, try and make it easier for them. But anyway, when it comes to WirePay, WirePay is an installment plan app that helps you to also be able to detect fraud when fraud is going on, especially as if when people want to buy things as somebody wants to back out. You can catch them. You will be able to detect that using the AI that isn't that's the form of our app. Of our app. But I would say the hello. So I would say this as an AI engineer. You don't have to know how to code to be able to make use of AI. Right now I have a community of AI engineers, of non-coders, of coders from different tech stacks, and I also teach them how to use different AI platforms, different AI generation models, so that even if they don't know where to start from, they start from somewhere. Because there are other tech tracks like um, Gen AI product designers. There are other tech tracks like campaign designers that set up social media campaigns for Meta, Google, whatever campaign you want to do across social media platforms. So that is what my community is about. Right now, I'm trying to build my community, trying to build my startup for non-coders and coders alike, so that it is very inclusive. I want you to feel like, yes, I can do this. Yes, I'm part of the future by joining the AI movement. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that beautiful contribution. And I love the fact that she mentioned how for AI you don't necessarily have to know how to code to be able to use it. Who do not like coding, you should know that AI is for you. So over to you, Emerald. Same question. Just a brief introduction of yourself and then just tell us how have you been able to adopt AI?
Hello everyone, how are we doing? The energy is very low. How are we doing? That's more like it. So, my name is Emerald, and I'm really just a girl. I'm a girl that loves to make computer do things. My fascination with technology started with when I realized that I can command computers and they will answer. That's what I loved about it. And that was what came into that's how coding came along for me. And then I started to think about how to teach girls in my community how to code. Um, I was born and brought up in Abuja, very in tune with the Arewa community. And in school, I have lots of girls that would love to learn technology. But how many of us have noticed that while going to school, secondary school, most of our books will contain examples of things that we do not use. For example, to say when Harry was going to the mall, I don't know what a mall is, a shop, I know. They say when he wanted to buy coffee for £5, I don't use pounds and I don't drink coffee. You don't drink coffee, you're shy, you will drink. So we realize that most of the times, education materials are not culturally contextualized. So what that means is that it is not in tune with the lived realities of learners. So I thought about how to use computers to solve that, and the answer was AI. So I started teaching girls in my community how to code using Hausa. But then I thought about what if AI can do that for me? What if I can work with AI to do that for me? So I looked for a way to command the computers, and the computers beckoned me, and they worked with me eventually. And I thought about health. I had a teacher who was diagnosed with cervical cancer, and I did not know what that was. And when I went to the hospital with her one day, we were told that in Nigeria they offer free health checkups for women with cervical cancer, and what they also do is that they offer free pap smears for women in some communities. Now, knowledge is power. Many of us in this room don't know that, but with the use of AI and technology, it's easier for us to come about things like this. So I built a system called Lafiya, which is good health, and then it helps women and girls who are going through issues with their health. So all in all, my fascination has always been about using computers to solve problems in our community. So that's what led me to become a machine learning engineer. That's what led me to become a founder of my initiative, Afrotech Excel. That's what led me to also be a co-organizer with the GDD Abuja. How many of us here were there first last week? Yeah, the first people. Yeah, so that's what led to that. That was also what led to me being an international youth representative at the Duke of Edinburgh's Award. So with tech, if you have an interest in solving problems in your community, you must not learn how to code like Ogechi rightly states, but just have a passion for solving problems within your community. You must not use fancy words to get there, but the most important thing is you having the motivation to eventually get there, and then you get there. Okay.
Wow, thank you so much. Please, a round of applause for her, please. I love the diversity. So now you can see that for tech, it's not just about maybe building very complex solutions, right? If you're in health, you can add tech into your health. If you're an educationist, you can add tech into it. Beautiful. Now, next we will move to Abimbola. So you also the same question. Introduce yourself and tell us how have you been able to integrate AI into your work. Thank you.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Abimbola, and I'm a solutions architect. I also call myself the futurist because I tend to look at what is happening now and see how we can get better things from the future. And I'm going to be a little bit hard in my conversations today because I don't want you to have some of the regrets I had because when I saw the future, I didn't take actionable steps. We're talking about AI as if another social media just popped up. It's way bigger than that. It has changed the way everything operates. In fact, I say AI is like electricity in the 1800s, it will change the way every single thing operates. And you don't know how much change has come to you, but look at our educational sector, for instance. The way exams are being set is different because of ChatGPT and the rest of it. The structure of our systems and our education is changing because AI is gradually encroaching every single thing. And the earlier you wake up to it, the better for you. Why I call myself the futurist is because, at least with my little years on earth, I've seen a lot of, you know, innovations that change the way things operate. Just like the rise of cryptocurrencies about 15, so about 12 years ago. It changed finance and it's still changing. I made a mistake at that point in time. I saw it, I knew what it could do. I told a lot of people about it, but I didn't take any step. And that's why I said I was going to be hard, because this is what AI is going to do in the next 10 to 15 years again. It is very early. The earlier you embrace it, the better. Because it's going to change the way every single thing operates. For instance, my work as a solutions architect, it's what I do basically is with the cloud, and physically I profound solutions for businesses. AI has touched every single thing I could do. Now I need to be more unique. If not, I'm out of business. And for us to handle it casually is because we don't understand what it is, or probably we are afraid of it because we don't know what it is. Because what you don't know, you become afraid of, or trivialize it. AI is so deep that the world has gone more than what we are seeing on ChatGPT. It is way deeper. With the availability of data, which is the past, it has affected the future drastically, and you can predict the future like a prophet. You can say what people will do. You can predict behavior. Look at your phone, for instance. It's telling you what you want to buy when you don't even know that you need to buy it. Can you imagine? And the big firms and corporations are already in your head and you don't know. And so for you to look at it like another social media that's popped up is because you are not business oriented or not futuristic in nature. You're not thinking about the next 10 years. You're not seeing beyond now. You're just looking at the next 24 hours and the next 48 hours and probably the next 3 years. But the next 10, 20 years is crazy. I don't know how much time I have left, but I want to be short as possible. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please, a round of applause for him. I'm very sure we'll be having questions. So please, if you have questions, do well to write them down. There'll be a time where you'll be called to ask these beautiful panelists questions on how you feel AI is affecting your life and what you can do. So yesterday, I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and he said something, and I think I need to share it here too. He said, "Blessing, don't be a billboard who directs people to the way they should go and is static." And when he talked about how he has found AI or he has seen this happening and he didn't take action, that came back to mind. So as you're sitting here today, just the word of my friend, don't be a billboard that just listens and say AI, AI, AI. What action are you taking? So over to you, Mr. Adedayo. So we'll go back to Mr. Adedayo. So we're talking about change. And then when we look at Nigeria, Nigeria still faces significant digital and infrastructural gap. How do we now ensure that children and young people, especially in underserved communities, are not left behind when we talk about AI and the future of work?
That's a very interesting question because we all know the infrastructure, the digital infrastructure gap in Nigeria is wide. To be able to power a 100 megawatts data center that can hold thousands of GPUs, you need at least 100 million US dollars because the power grid is not an option. The electricity is poor, internet sometimes is poor. The level of digital literacy to use these solutions at times also is extremely low. So, in order for us not to leave the children and also the underserved areas behind in the AI powered future, I think of it as two things. The first thing is education. education is extremely important. We need to be able to educate these people in masses. Let them understand the underlying techniques and technologies behind how these AI solutions are being built. Once they understand it, we take the teachers, the local leaders, the community leaders, we teach them. And you know the saying, you teach a teacher, you've taught a generation. They go back to the community, they spread the word, they show people how to actually use the systems in their own little community. Then the second thing is us, like me and you. We need to use these AI systems every single time. We need to be able to use it in our day-to-day activities. Once we use it, we understand the limitations behind it. And once we've educated ourselves with the underlying techniques, we're able to see the limitation it has in our society. Then we can actually fine-tune it to be able to work in our own context, in our own society. And also, in terms of the infrastructure, I know in the underserved areas, they have low access to internet and the latest technology. But if you look at the geographical landscape, 3G covers a wide area in Nigeria. 4G doesn't have that coverage. As we have 5G, it still doesn't have that coverage. So we can build solutions around that infrastructure. Now look at this. A farmer in Sokoto is able to call an AI powered system that has vast access to knowledge and is able to communicate with it in his own local dialects. He's able to ask his question, how can I farm my crops more effectively? How can I harvest them more efficiently? With this education and us actually using it in our own context, I feel we won't leave anyone behind. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Please, a round of applause for him. So one major thing that struck me there was use AI. Very important. Don't be scared of AI. I hear conversations where people say AI is coming to take our jobs, right? And that's not true. AI will only take jobs of people who refuse to use them because it makes you more efficient. But as much as you use them, ensure to humanize it and check. Because I've seen a situation where someone applied for a job, and you know the way AI has this comma and this bracket. Hello, sir, and kept it. And then underneath, do you want me to add more text? Just forwarded it. And you can see. So that's not a very wise use of AI. So yes, use AI, but ensure you double check. Okay, so next we have Ogechi. We can see that AI adoption is accelerating globally. Now, looking at Nigeria, what sector do you believe are very vulnerable to automation in the next 5 years? And which emerging sector will create new opportunities for our youth so we can learn and leverage on this? Thank you.
So I was having a discussion yesterday with a couple of people because funny enough, they asked me the same question. That what can they do to get ahead of the curve? Because for you to be innovative, you have to think about a solution that is important to your society. You cannot build PayPal for Africans, but you can build M-Pesa, you can build OPay, you can build money points for Nigerians. Nigerians want a situation where they know that it is easy to send money because of the way our banking system is structured. So is AI. So now what are the jobs that are important in the future? First thing first, cybersecurity. Nigeria right now, especially our young Nigerians, are very nonchalant or ignorant towards certain things that they sign on to or certain cookies that they accept. Because we open a website and the first thing we do is we accept all cookies because we don't want to deal with reading it up. But the thing is this, I explained to the person that you don't have to build a big cybersecurity company. You can build something that can tell someone these cookies, these are the in bullet points, these are the things that these cookies are going to do if you accept all the cookies. And you know sometimes it says allow for the most important cookies, right? And I told the person that you can set up an AI model that automatically does this for Nigerians. As long as you're using any website within the Nigerian space, it will automatically detect it and give you bullet points of what those cookies are about. So that you don't just share your data anyhow. Are we together? So another thing that we can think about, we have to be honest with ourselves, is hardware. Right now, there's a very big race for hardware to be able to build chips, to be able to build this, that, and the third. Things that we can touch. The servers, data servers, large data servers in Nigeria for in different communities. So I would advise Nigerians they should at least start with data banks. Data banks, because very soon we are going to see the AI debt, quote unquote. And the AI debt is basically the AI will collapse within itself because it doesn't have more data to train on or more data to learn on. And if as Nigerians we are able to do that, there are so many creatives. This is the time for creatives to shine. This is time for a lot of academics to shine. There are so many things about our cultures, ourselves, our people as a whole, our history that hasn't been found, that hasn't been documented. And these are the questions we're supposed to go around and find out. What structure? Because even, for example, the Benin Kingdom, they had a particular structure for pathways, and a lot of people do not, a lot of Nigerians do not know this.
Humans need to be reminded of how they should be humans, because we are forgetting how to be human. We're forgetting about empathy. We're forgetting about the things that makes us unique, and we are now behaving like AIs. So you imagine that's why you feel that your job can be replaced. You cannot replace a human. I believe so much in the human spirit and the strength of it. So you cannot be replaced. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I want you to just tap on your chest and say, I cannot be replaced. But you have to sit up and use AI effectively. Okay, so now is the time for question. We have about three roles here. So we just take one from each. So if you know that this question you really want, okay, I'm seeing three persons already from here and there's no one here. Should we just take the three? Okay. One, no one. So we take, okay, gender, two, and then three. So let's have these three persons. Thank you so much. Please. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Emmanuel Prince. I am a student at NIIT, where I study software engineering. Currently, I just finished a project on e-commerce where I did. Sorry, I don't know. Okay, where I did where I used our African products, which is Abba-made products, or Abba-made shoes. I did an e-commerce platform for people to easily purchase Abba-made shoes online, both male and female. Now, I used some ChatGPT prompt. I used Gemini and some other AI features I used, AI packages I used, and part of my human brain, coding. After doing all these, it's mainly just going to be a desktop website, not really an application. Now, on a second project on Java, where I have to bring in the application of it, I was asked to create something, the same kind of stuff. So, but I should make it in a way that it's going to be an application using Java, using NetBeans. Now, I want to ask: is it possible to, after has been done, is it possible to monitor the inflow of products, how the flow of products while it's going to through and fro, like when people buy and sell and all of that, how it's going? Can we use AI to monitor these things? That's what I'm saying.
Okay, well done. The simple answer is while AI is the hot new topic now, you need to add AI to other things that you have. The very simple answer to your question is use blockchain. There's AI on blockchain. You know what blockchain is, right? Blockchain tracks everything as it stops. So you may consider looking at things like Cardano or Algorand, Just do your research, basically. You find the answer.
Thank you so much. Next, please, we are out of time, so in 1 minute you ask your question. Okay, quickly.
Thank you so much. I have learned a lot. Thank you for the cookies. Some of us we just click on everything without going through. Thank you so much. Please, when you talked about data bands, please can you know deliberate more on the benefits of data bands to us? Thank you.
Hello. So data banks. So imagine it's like the bank that you already have, the Nigerian banks you already have, but just a good bank where where you go to deposit money, right? And they have money in two ways. All of you that have your money in different banks, all your money is not in that bank. Some cash, some physical cash is in that bank, and the rest is digital. So imagine it in the same way. If as a creative or as an architect now I want to start a data bank that is going to contain all the history of different types of architectures I've done in the north, that has been done in the north, in the south, in the east, wherever Nigeria, right? All I have to do is to start whenever I do a research, write a manual research or whatever on it. I now store it on a flash, on a hard drive. A digital way I can do that is storing it on a blockchain. Are we together? And then again, you don't need to know blockchain so deep, right? Or know how to build a blockchain from scratch for you to use a blockchain as your data bank. Are we together? So when you use a blockchain to store that data, be you as a creative, be you an architect.
My destiny, I have waited patiently. I have vision, though I believe. I know I can count on me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions.
Okay, thank you very much, DJ. Can we give them a round of applause once more? Verify me. And we also have Mr. Innocent Okafor. That's the Managing Director of Interfig Resources Global. Can we put a round of applause for them, please? Also, we didn't forget about our raffle.